Hey, what up? It's Sai, and I have a battle here against PokemonKing4Life. This is like second or third battle with him. It is probably it's like the most epic battle I've ever had. I mean, I don't do so good, but I mean, I do good, but I still lose. Spoiler. But yeah, here we go. He sends in a Moltres, and I send in my Meganium. I predicted he was going to use a fire move, so I switched into my Ninetales, but he doesn't use a fire move. He uses Substitute, so I don't know what he was going to do, so I switched into my Kabutops, predicting he was going to use like a flying move or something, but he just uses Toxic. And I use a Waterfall to break his Substitute, and it's a critical hit, which is kind of a waste of a crit. And he was just going to use another Substitute, and I use another Waterfall. No, I don't. I switched into my Meganium, predicting he was going to use another Substitute. He does. And then he uses Flamethrower, and I knew I was going to survive that because I'm max special defense. And I use Aromatherapy to cure my burn and my Kabutops Toxic. They're poison. So he uses Toxic on me instead of Flamethrower, and I set up a light screen, which is pretty good. Excuse me. It's another late night narration. Then he uses Flamethrower, and it's going to KO my Meganium, but there's a light screen up, and that's going to save me a lot here. I use another Waterfall to break his sub again, and it's another crit, which is useless, and kind of took me off again. He uses Toxic again, and yeah. He switches into his Weezing, and I was actually going to one-hit KO it with a Rock Slide, and instead it does nothing to his Weezing. Purple haze all around. I switch into my Ninetales, and he uses Thunderbolt, and it does nothing to my Ninetales because light screen and Ninetales is a wall. So he switches into his Ludicolo, and I was going to use Hypnosis, and I missed the first time, but I put his Ludicolo to sleep the second time. And I use this opportunity to set up a nasty plot, and he's still asleep. Excuse me. Light screen wears off, and he sends in his Moltres, and I use another nasty plot. He's going to go first and use Toxic on me. And I was going to put him to sleep too, because I don't usually follow sleep clause, but he does. So I guess it's kind of good that that missed. So he uses that chance to set up another sub, and I break it with a Flamethrower. So that means Flamethrower is going to do a lot once I get him out of a sub for good. So he uses another Substitute, and it's going to take him down to about half. I use another Flamethrower, and it's going to break his sub again. Not very effective. Leftovers. Toxic. So he uses Roost again instead of Substitute, which is pretty good. I can see how much Flamethrower is going to do. And he has full health now, and that's going to bring him down to about half. So, it's pretty cool. Pretty decent for a all-wall Ninetales. So I don't want the Toxic to kill me next turn, so I switch into my Gabite, and he uses Roost, which is pretty good. I was going to use Rock Slide again. He does the same thing. He switches into his Weezing, and I use Rock Slide, and it does almost nothing. Well, it does. Brings him down to less than half, because it was a crit. This is where I start hacking him like crazy. Yeah, I guess he thought I was going to switch or something, and he uses Thunderbolt, and he, it doesn't work on Gabite. So the first Rock Slide's alright. I use another Rock Slide, and then he uses Will-O-Wisp, and it misses. Then I use this Rock Slide, and he gets flinched. And then I use another Rock Slide, and he gets flinched again. And then I'm going to use one more Rock Slide, and that's going to take down his Weezing. So I just took down a Weezing using only Rock Slide. What? What now? So he sends in his Cloyster. It has high physical defense, so I didn't think Rock Slide would do too much. And I thought he was going to use an Ice move, so I switched into my Ninetales. But he predicts that and uses a Water move. So I send in my Nidoking and I use Thunderbolt, and because Thunderbolt's not a crappy move and Nidoking's special attack is not crap and Cloyster's special defense is crap, I one-hit KO it. They sent in his Claydol. I guess he predicted I was choiced. So I switch into my Kabutops predicting a psychic move, but instead he goes for a ground move, Earthquake, and KOs my Kabutops. I send my Nidoking back in and I was going to use Aqua Tail, but instead he switches into his Spiritomb and that doesn't do anything to him. So I switch again and switch back into my Gabite while he sets up a nasty plot. And yeah, leftovers. I used Earthquake and it actually did less than I thought it would, even though it brought him down to more than half. And he uses a Shadow Ball. Yeah, crit. One-hit KO, nasty plot, blah blah blah. So I send in my Venusaur and I use Outrage, because any other move that my Nidoqueen Venusaur has will be not very effective to some person in his party. So I decided to just go with Outrage because Dragon is a pretty neutral move. He uses a Shadow Ball and that brings me down to less than half. And my Outrage brings him to red health. And he uses another Shadow Ball and it's going to KO my Venusaur. So then I send in my Nidoking again and I go with Ice Beam because Ice Beam against all of his Pokemon is a pretty neutral move. So he sends in his Moltres, and that's when the camera ran out of memory. He uses Flamethrower, and that's going to take me down to about half, and I use an Ice Beam, and it's not going to do that much to him. And the random number generator thing, that wasn't maximum damage, so that's going to kill my Nidoking, and that's good game. Pokemon4Life. Rate, comment, subscribe. Sorry for the crappy narration, it's late night. It's going to happen a lot. Check out the Midnight Moon League, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, peace.